Hey guys, it's your boy, Buoyant, and today we're with another guide video. Okay, so today we're going to be doing Ash. I'm going to talk about how to use her kit, how to play her, some tips, and just some cool things about her. Anyways, let's cut to the bullshit, and let's begin. First off, her kit. Ash is a 3 speed, 1 armor, and has access to the R4C assault rifle, rifle for her primary options. She also has access to the M45 Mauser, a 5.7 USG pistol for her secondaries, breach charges and claymores as her secondary gadgets, and the breaching round as her primary gadget. Her best loadout in my opinion is her R4C, M45 and breach charges. Now, there's not really a big difference between the two primary weapons, but if you're a long-time Siege player, you'll know how good the feel of the R4C is. But looking at the stats, the G36C is technically a better gun. While the R4C does beat the G3 in damage and the fire rate, the extra 1 damage does not affect the gun at all, so really it's just fire rate. On the other hand though, the G3 has a bigger mag by 5 bullets, dramatically less recoil, and even without recoil attachments, does similar recoil. I would not recommend extended barrel on the R4C, but with the G3, it doesn't affect it at all really, meaning you can easily down 3 armors with 3 shots. Now this is my opinion, but the R4C is better in my opinion, but if you are picking up Ash and you're not that good at recoil, or you don't really care, like, use the G3. The G3 is a valid option and it's alright, it's a good gun. Now for Ash's secondaries, I do believe that the M45 is better in my opinion. The M45 is able to output more damage than the USG, however the USG does have a bigger mag, but if you're in a situation where you run out of bullets in your primary and you're swapping to your secondary to finish the kill off, I would rather choose damage over bullets. In my opinion, I do believe that the breaching charges are better than claymores. You shouldn't look at it at a one-dimensional way. You should look at it like, oh, what site am I going? And what role you're going to play. Are you going to play Ash, who's going to try to get as much like sites of like walls open, as much sightless lines open, then get breach charges? Or are you trying to, like, you know, push by yourself? If you're pushing by yourself, you want to have claymores to watch your back because you're not going to have a teammate. Or if you are, going to be trying to get gadgets in that and you still want to get walls open, then just use your launcher for that and then use your breaching charges to get walls. So both are valid. I do prefer having breach charges, but both are still good. Ash's gadget is the breaching round. The breaching round is an explosive projectile launcher which can destroy all soft walls, hatches, and all soft and bulletproof gadgets in the game. Ash gains 2 of these charges and can use it by simply pulling out her launcher. Her launcher can be shot from any distance and Mini can destroy stuff from pretty far away. The gadget has a magazine size of 1 and has to be reloaded every time you shoot it. The explosion area of the gadget is pretty big, so if you want to open up multiple walls or destroy multiple different gadgets, her ability is great for that, especially for enemies that would group up a bunch of different gadgets around the same area. Now, when her gadget explodes, it kind of explodes in a oval shape, the face that you shoot it from. So it's great from opening up an entire single wall, or like I said before, just exploding a bunch of stuff. It's about the size of 1 Wamai and like 4.5 magnets, so give or take the measurement of that. As well, her gadget can destroy pretty much every operator's gadget that can be shot, and some that are bulletproof. The notable ones are Mirror Panels, Banshees, Evil Eyes, Black Mirrors. Yes, it kind of does work like a grenade, and you might say, oh, why don't I just use grenades in that? But again, grenades are kind of funky sometimes with exploding stuff. They don't have as much explosion power as a launcher, and you have to kind of angle your grenades, so you're going to be exposed longer trying to calculate the exact distance or angle you have to throw it. So her launcher, you just look at it, shoot it, and then boom. However, Ash does have counters, and her counters is both Wamai and Jaeger. As her gadget is a projectile, that means that both their gadgets can grab or destroy her breaching round. So just be mindful of that, and make sure to not shoot it in that area if they do have a Jaeger or a Wamai.
Brother Ash, the world would love to know.
Shut up.
Now as Ash, you want to use her gadget to destroy stuff far away that could put you in a vulnerable position. I see a lot of people using her gadget on walls that are right next to her, which defeats the whole purpose of her. Unlike other characters like Sledge and Buck, who has to get close to use their gadgets, Ash can shoot her gadget from a safe distance, so you can either destroy a trap or wall that doesn't force you to put yourself in a vulnerable position. If an enemy has an angle on that, you can simply just shoot it from a distance, and yeah, you don't have to get into their lines of sight and possibly get shot, or be like Sledge or Buck, who have to either pull out his hammer and hit it, which puts his weapon away, or Buck, who has his shotgun, so he can only really be in close range engagements and that. As well, try using her gadget to destroy other gadgets, not just walls and that, as she can destroy pretty much all bulletproof gadgets, like I said before. So if there's like an evil eye or bulletproof camera that has, you know, intel on you, but you can't get close, or, you know, you don't have any other like util to break it in that, you shoot the launcher and it'll get destroyed. For example, on a map like Chile, you'll usually have a setup like this on the map. This setup allows defenders to have head holes that allow them to peek at attackers who have a lot of dead space. Defenders also have cover, which can reduce damage if you hit them in the body, or they can hide behind it by crouching underneath and then just peeking up and shooting at you. Finally, because it's still fully covered and there's not enough area for attackers to jump in, it still counts as a wall, so the only way for attackers to really enter is through the double door. As well, to make this harder, I'm going to add a mirror. So now it's pretty much impossible, because now they know where you are, so they can just peek you and shoot you. However, for this, it's actually perfect to play as Ash. As Ash, we can shoot our launcher at the black mirror to destroy it, cracking it. Now you might think, oh, Twitch is a better counter than Ash, but I think Ash is actually a better counter to mirror than Twitch is. The problem with Twitch is because she destroys the canister, that leaves the window open, and that still gives defenders a sight line to look at. As well, if the defenders are closer to it, they have more of your body exposed while you only have their heads exposed. After we destroy the mirror, defenders don't have any eyes into the hallway, so now we can safely move into the hallway. As well, then we can shoot our gadget to destroy the wall. Now that we destroyed the wall, we can now have another entry directly into sight now, and as long as you cover your cross to piano and somehow manage to get into the site, you basically gain access to site now.
Cuidado ao frost, cuidado ao frost.
So the first step with Ash is to abuse her kit. Ash is considered an entry fragger. Unlike normal fraggers, someone to get kills, an entry fragger is someone who rushes into the map to get kills of unsuspecting defenders at the start of the round, and Ash is great for that. Ash's kit is pretty much built for this. She's a free speed, has 2 good guns, and her gadget can destroy obstacles in the way. Most of the time, defenders are still going to be setting up the site most of the time, so getting inside, especially when defenders don't expect attackers to really get inside the building till after the first minute, abusing this can help you get at least a free kill. As well, a fun fact, but in the early years of Siege, Ash used to have a broken hitbox, which made it impossible to kill her half the time, because, you know, you'll shoot her body, but that wasn't part of her rig, so you'll just go through her and that, I guess. So, yeah, but still, she does have a small hitbox, considering her character model and that, so it does make it sometimes hard to shoot Ash in that. Pace yourself, so run to sight and start walking and slow walking, and then when they don't expect you, just shoot them in that. And generally, most of the time, your enemies aren't going to be stupid, unless of course you're in like casual lobbies or like cop or whatever. But other than that, she's really good to play. If you're new to the game, she's actually really good to start learning in that, mainly because of just her ability in that. So overall, like, yeah. Okay, so Ash's final tip is explosive trigger. Now, because of how her gadget works, it doesn't explode behind you, it only explodes in front of you. So unlike an impact grenade where it explodes all around it, her gadget only explodes the way you shot it at. This means that if you're close to it, you won't take damage. However, if you're really close to it, you will take damage. However, we can abuse this. Now think of her gadget kind of like a box, okay? The box is facing in front of the gadget but also still covering it. But if you turn the box at a 45-degree angle, it will be on a angle. As long as you're not in its box, you're fine. So by shooting her gadget in the corner of a barricade, for example, you can basically abuse this to instantly open the barricade and run through without having to melee it or make other sounds to open it. This is good because then you can either rush into the map in that, like I told about the first tip, or you can also do this to swing people in that. This is a pretty good tech to know, especially if you're trying to like play Ash in that, because it can help you in a lot of situations and stop you from taking damage in that. Okay, so this is the end of the video. I hope you learned something in this video. Ash is a pretty good operator, and if you are starting to play the game, you should definitely pick her up as one of the first operators to start learning and play. She's pretty basic, and she's pretty good, and that's pretty much all I could say. Now it's tier list time, and I'll probably give Ash an B. Yeah, I know a lot of people might think that's a little low. Some people put Ash A. Some tier lists I saw people give her S. But in my opinion, I think she's a low B in my opinion. She has good guns, and she's a free speed, but that's really it. Her secondaries are decent, but they're not amazing. Her secondary gadgets are decent, but not amazing. And her primary gadget is decent, but not amazing. Other than that, she's just above average in my opinion. As either an anti-gadget or a breacher, she's not the best at either of the roles. As an anti-gadget or breacher, she's not really good at any of those roles in my opinion, and she just gets outclassed really in that. Anyways, that's it. If you enjoyed the video, thanks for watching. Subscribe if you liked the video, and peace. Buoyant out.